Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. This is your Chelsea versus Manchester United preview. It's Sunday, 4:30 kick-off at Stamford Bridge. Manchester United are coming into this game on the back of a 2-0 win against Villarreal away from home. The goals against Villarreal came from Cristiano Ronaldo, and Jadon Sancho scored his first goal for the club. Reflecting on the win against Villarreal, Manchester United have qualified for the last 16 of the Champions League. There's still one game left in the group stage. Michael Carrick won his first game in charge as the interim manager. You know, there's a good chance that Carrick will be in charge for the game against Chelsea this Sunday. Manchester United lost their last league game to Watford 4-1. And that was the game that ended Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial tenure at Manchester United. As for Chelsea, they're coming into this game on the back of a 4-0 win against Juventus. Obviously Chelsea are in the knockout stages of the Champions League. Chelsea won their last league game. They beat Leicester 3-0. Chelsea are top of the Premier League at the moment. They've been fantastic so far this season. They've only lost one game in the league so far. Chelsea's manager is Thomas Tuchel. He's transformed Chelsea. He won the Champions League with Chelsea last season. He's been Chelsea manager for almost a year. He's got a contract with Chelsea until 2024. Before Chelsea, Tuchel managed PSG. He also did well there. Before, managed Borussia Dortmund. And at one point, he managed Mainz 05. Don't forget as well, Tuchel got Chelsea to the FA Cup final last season, but Chelsea lost the final to Leicester. Last season, Chelsea sacked Frank Lampard. Wasn't he at Chelsea for like a year and a half? You know, Lampard is Chelsea's all-time leading goal scorer with 211 goals. Obviously, before Lampard went to Chelsea, you know, he was at Derby as manager. Before Lampard, Chelsea had Maurizio Sarri. He only lasted, a season at Chelsea. He actually won the Europa League at Chelsea, did Sarri, and he got Chelsea to the League Cup final. Before him, Chelsea had Antonio Conte. Conte did win the Premier League in his first season at Chelsea. Chelsea though ended up sacking him. I think at one point as well, Chelsea had Gus Higgins. They sacked him. Also had Mourinho. You know, Chelsea sacked Jose Mourinho. Mourinho endured 2 spells at Chelsea. At one point, they had Rafa Benitez. I think they also sacked him. They had Ancelotti a long time ago. Chelsea ended up sacking him. They had Boas at one point, did Chelsea. They also sacked him. Chelsea have sacked a lot of managers. They must have sacked around 12 or 13 managers, is it? Of what I know of anyway. Obviously, Chelsea's owner is Roman Abramovich. You know, Chelsea are one of the favourites to win the Premier League this season. I think Chelsea have got a good squad. Obviously, Chelsea have got Lukaku. They re-signed him last summer. And what an impact he's made for Chelsea since he re-signed. You know, if Lukaku plays on Sunday, he will be reuniting with Manchester United. Don't forget, we had Lukaku for a couple of years. And then obviously we sold him to Inter Milan. When we did get Lukaku, we paid around £75 million for him up front. Add-ons, raising it up to around 90 million. Chelsea have also got Timo Werner. Now, I think he has improved. He didn't settle in at the first. I don't think, though, Timo Werner has done as well as a lot of Chelsea fans expected. He came from RB Leipzig, didn't he? Chelsea have also got Kai Havertz. Now, I do like him a lot. You know, Chelsea got him from Bayer Leverkusen. I think he's got an injury now. Another good player Chelsea have got, that's Christian Pulisic. Chelsea got Christian Pulisic from Borussia Dortmund. Chelsea have also got N'Golo Kante. I think he's one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. You know, Kante has won the Premier League as a Chelsea player. He also won the Premier League when he was at Leicester. Of course, Chelsea got N'Golo Kante from Leicester. I think Kante has got an injury. Chelsea have also got Jorginho. He's had some good games at Chelsea, but I don't really highly rate him. I think Chelsea did get Jorginho from Napoli. Chelsea have also got Callum Hudson-Odoi, young player, still got a lot of development in him. They've also got that Mason Mount, that's also a very good player. Obviously they've got Ruben Loftus-Cheek, he's another young player Chelsea have got. They've also got that Reece James, who I do rate a lot. I think that Reece James is a right back, isn't he? Chelsea have also got Kovacic. I think he's got an injury. Chelsea have got Saul Niguez on loan. They got him from Atletico Madrid last summer. If you do remember rightly, Manchester United tried to get him. Chelsea have also got that Christensen. To be honest with you, I don't really rate that Christensen. Chelsea have got Ben Chilwell. He's a left back. Ben Chilwell has got an injury. Chelsea have also got Marco Alonso. I think he's another left back. They've also got Rudiger. He's a very, very good centre half. They've also got Azpilicueta. They've got Thiago Silva and Milan Sarr. So there you go, they are a lot of Chelsea's players. Chelsea have got 3 goalkeepers, is it? Obviously they've got Kepa Arrizabalaga. They've got that Mendy. And they've got that Bettinelli, who they got from Fulham, I think it was, last summer. If you do remember rightly, was it a few years ago now, Chelsea had a transfer ban because they was tapping around a lot of young players. And I also think Chelsea made a bad mistake offloading Eden Hazard. Because since he's gone to Real Madrid, he has been very, very poor. But I thought he was very good when he was a Chelsea player. Eden Hazard endured like 7 years as a Chelsea player. Last season, it was 0-0 between Chelsea and Manchester United at Stamford Bridge in the league. It was also 0-0 in the Old Trafford game. Manchester United have not got a great record at Stamford Bridge. We did beat them at Stamford Bridge back in February 2020, 2-0. And that was actually the first time Man United won at Stamford Bridge in the league in like 8 years. I'm expecting Manchester United to make some changes from the 2-0 win against Villarreal. We do obviously have some players missing. As you all know, Maguire can't play in this game because he's suspended. Maguire got sent off in the 4-1 defeat to Watford. So I think Maguire has got a 3-match ban. Varane, he's got a hamstring injury. I think Varane's out for another 2 to 3 weeks. Varane's already endured 2 injuries since he signed for the club not so long ago. Varane had a groin injury and he was out with that groin injury for a few weeks. Obviously there's no Paul Pogba because he's missing the rest of 2021 because he's got a thigh injury. He suffered the thigh injury in France training earlier on in the season. Luke Shaw, obviously he's been out with a head injury. He got the head injury in the 4-1 defeat to Watford last weekend. Obviously Shaw couldn't play against Villarreal because of the head injury, so obviously Tellez played ahead of him. Cavani, like I said, he's out until December, so he won't be involved in this game. And Mason Greenwood, he's obviously out with COVID for a few weeks. Can Manchester United beat Chelsea? Well, it all depends on how we approach the game. You know, if we can keep Chelsea's attackers at bay and we can constantly press Chelsea, you know, don't allow them to have time on the ball, don't let them get out of their own half, then we've got every chance of winning. But obviously, on the other side of things, if we sit back and invite pressure, then we will be punished. But revert back to the 2-0 win against Villarreal, you know, I think Michael Carrick deserved a lot of credit. You know, reverting back to what I said on my match reaction, because I thought Michael Carrick's game plan was correct and I thought his substitutions were correct. Obviously, we went defensive, didn't we, against Villarreal, but we still scored 2 good goals and managed to keep a clean sheet. Now obviously, on my last video, I give you the news on Mauricio Pochettino. He says, PSG reject Manchester United's move to appoint Mauricio Pochettino. Recently, Pochettino came out and said that he's so happy at PSG and said he's not distracted by the links to the Manchester United job. You know, earlier on this week it did mention that Mauricio Pochettino is interested in the Manchester United job. And the Manchester Evening News said that Man United are confident of appointing Mauricio Pochettino as their next manager. You know, Man United have agreed to pay the 10 million compensation fee for Pochettino. And Pochettino's already said that he's prepared to quit PSG to become Manchester United manager now. You know, Pochettino has a full season left on his PSG contract. Manchester United should have got Mauricio Pochettino after the sacking of Mourinho, but the club decided to go with Solskjaer instead. I do think though that Pochettino would be perfect for Manchester United. You know, I think he'd get the best out of these group of players if he came in. He'd suit the strappings of the club, and I think he would get us back up there competing. Well, let's put it this way, he's a far superior manager to Solskjaer. Pochettino, though, hasn't really won anything. I think he has won one trophy at PSG. It's beneficial as well because Pochettino is proven in the Premier League. Don't forget Pochettino endured a 5.5-year tenure with Tottenham. And analysing the vast majority of his tenure at Tottenham were competing in and out of the top four. But in 2018, he guided Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final. And he almost won the league with Tottenham. And before, managed Southampton as well. He only enjoyed a short tenure with Southampton, but he still guided Southampton to their highest ever finish in the Premier League. So they're the clubs he's managed in the Premier League so far, and before he managed Espanyol. Like I say, Pochettino is Man United's #1 choice. Fabrizio Romano confirmed that not so long ago. Obviously, PSG have been trying to get Zinedine Zidane, haven't they? And I said if Zidane goes to PSG, we will get Pochettino. Zidane's obviously been linked with a managerial role at Man United. But obviously, it said not so long ago that Zidane is not interested in taking over at Manchester United, as he doesn't feel ready for the Premier League at the moment. And on my last video, I gave you the news on Ernesto Valverde. Reports have said that Manchester United have held talks with Ernesto Valverde over interim manager role. He's managerless, is Valverde. He's been managerless for almost 2 years. His last managerial role was Barcelona. Valverde got sacked from Barcelona back in January 2020. He's got a decent pedigree behind him. He has won trophies in his managerial career. He won back-to-back La Liga titles at Barca and the Copa del Rey. When he was at Olympiacos, he won the Greek title on 3 occasions. He endured 2 spells at Olympiacos. And I think he also won a trophy when he managed Atletico Bilbao. Erik ten Hag, he's still being spoken about a lot. I've been hearing that he's interested in the United job. I presume there's a lot of United fans that would take him in. I think he's done a good job at Ajax. He's won a few trophies at Ajax. I like the way he develops young players as well, and he's been Ajax manager for 4 years. I heard Erik ten Hag is the second choice, Pochettino's the first, and then ten Hag's the second. And Brendan Rodgers, he's still being mentioned as well, but I've disregarded Brendan Rodgers because not so long ago he dismissed Manchester United. Despite Manchester United contacting Brendan Rodgers. Manchester United, though, are looking to appoint an interim manager until the end of the season. Like I said to you, Carrick is the current interim manager at the moment. As you all know, last Sunday morning, Solskjaer was sacked by Manchester United following the 4-1 defeat to Watford. Obviously, not so long ago, Solskjaer did his farewell interview and he got emotional in that farewell interview. I felt for him really because just wanted to smoke. He said, yeah, I felt for him because it wasn't all his fault, was it? Yes, it was partly to blame for, yes, some of the poor performances, you know, because his tactics and his team selections were questioned a lot, but not all of the blame stemmed from Ollie. There was also players that had to take responsibility for those poor performances as well. He got a good payoff though. You know, Man United paid Solskjaer around $7.5 million because last summer Ollie signed a new 3-year contract with an option of a further year. But despite Man United sacking Solskjaer last Sunday morning, all United fans will always adore him. You know, reflecting on what he's done for the club. You know, Solskjaer endured 11 good years as a player for United, and he flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. His most iconic moment as a player was when he scored the winning goal in the Champions League final at the Nou Camp back in 1999 because he won the club the treble, and that is the club's greatest ever achievement. Ollie had a proven pedigree as a player, but unfortunately he didn't have it as a manager. But yeah, Solskjaer is a legend of the club, and he always will be a legend of the club. You know, Solskjaer was Manchester United manager for almost 3 years. The reason though he lasted as long as that is because he is a club legend. Disregarding him being a club legend, I can assure he would have been gone a while ago. Manchester United should have sacked Solskjaer after the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool, because if we'd have sacked him then, I can assure Man United would have got Antonio Conte. And then we wouldn't have to piss about getting an interim manager in until the end of the season, then getting a permanent one after that. I think Pochettino's now the only chance for us getting a permanent manager at this moment in time. If we don't get Pochettino now, we'll have to probably wait until the end of the season for the permanent manager, lest someone else becomes available. So there you go. So anyway guys, there'll be more videos coming up soon. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. The channel name's Red Devil 24, and take care, God bless.